a good progress has been made. We have gone through basic statements of programming: output statements, input statements, assignment statements, and of course variables, something that we call declaration statements or storage statements. We have also learned or experimented how we can actually implement these statements in C++. C out statement for output, C in statement for input. Declaration statements, we use various data types like integer or maybe int, double, and other data types to declare the variables. And of course, we are able to have some expressions which could do some calculations, maybe adding two numbers and assigning the result into a certain variable. A good progress. And in this video, we wanted to look at one example of how we can solve or we can come up with our own program. We are looking at a program that will ask a user to enter unit price and a quantity of a product bought. We are making an assumption that you are buying something and that something has got a price. But you are not only buying one item of that type. You are buying multiple items. It can be, of course, one, but maybe you are buying two. So if it's a bottle of water, maybe the price for that bottle of water is 300 kwacha. And how many bottles are you buying? Maybe 10. Then the program should be able to do some calculations for us that if I'm buying 10 bottles, but each bottle is at 300 kwacha, then at the end, I'm supposed to pay 3,000. So that's what our program is going to do. It will ask you to enter a unit price, maybe 300 kwacha, and how many items you are buying, that's quantity. Then we are going to have the amount that you are supposed to pay, or the amount that is paid. To begin this program, we need to do what we call planning. So we are going to do the planning. What will be the input? What will be the output? What will be the process like? To do this planning, which is a specification stage, we will use what we call IPO model, where we can use IPO table, but in my case, I will not use it. I will present it in a form of a table. But we know that an IPO table has got input column, the output column, and of course the middle column, which is the process column. I'll just put them going down without necessarily showing them as a table. So let's have a new page, which we can use for our specifications. The first one, we are looking at input. So what do we have under input? What will be the input? What do we need from the user? The program is asking for unit price and quantity. That's the raw materials that we need for our program to give out the result of amount paid. So our input will be unit price, or we can just call it price, and the quantity. So these are input. And what will be the output? Let me jump here and put something here. So the output is what will be given out after everything is done. Our program main goal is to give us the amount paid. So the amount paid is our output. How are we getting the amount paid? We are getting input from the user, and we are getting this as an output, total amount. So how do we get amount paid? We get amount paid by doing some process. How are we processing? We are going to take the input, which is the price and quantity. We are going to multiply them to get the output, which is amount paid. So we just say multiply price by quantity. That's what we are going to do as a process. We know if this is done, we are going to get amount paid. So the process has only one step in our case, multiply price by quantity. So we are done planning. We can, of course, before we leave this, let's have another component, which is a component of storage. There will be some storage requirement. For the input, we need two variables. So we need a variable. Let me just have it as this. So we need a variable for the input, which is the price, and the quantity. I'll just call it quantity, and all of them will be of data type integer. I'll just have them as whole numbers. Then for the output, we need one variable, and this is the amount paid. So I can just call it amount of data type integer as well. The process will need nothing for now. So process has no variable for this program. We can do without having a variable for the process. Okay, now let's try to come up with a solution, maybe in a form of an algorithm, and this algorithm is going to be presented in a pseudocode form. Let's have a pseudocode created. To do so, we first need to declare our variables. So to declare the variables, we use the word use. Use price. Of course, I can have a price and quantity, as well as the amount, because they are all of the same data type. Use all of them as integers. So we have declared our variables. Then after that, we can get values from the user. So we say get, and what are we getting? We are getting price, and we are also getting quantity, and we are using these into multiplications. So the price is being multiplied by quantity to get what we call amount. So when we do multiplication, we are going to keep them in amount. You can put compute at the beginning here or calculate at the beginning here, but I think it's okay. We can just have it without any word for this assignment statement. Then afterwards, we can display. So display, in our case, we are displaying amount, but we want it to have some words before the word amount. So we can say total amount equals something like that. So this is our program. We are done. But sometimes you may want to have some accompanying words. Like here, you could have something like display, maybe something like enterprise. And the same you could do for the quantity, and enter quantity. So this program is done. A program that asks for a unit price and quantity of a product bought and displays a total amount paid. we've done some analysis that we need this as input, and this will be our process, and we're going to have this as an output. In terms of storage, on the side of input, we have two items, price and quantity, and they'll be of data type integer, and the output have one, which is amount in our case, and will be of data type integer, and no variable for the process. Should take note that the variable names must be written without spaces. And our algorithm is starting with the declaration of variables. There are three variables declared of type integer, and here is our program. So we are going to actually create now a program, a C++ program down here using this. So let's create a C++ program down here. Our program starts with a declaration. So our program will have a declaration. So it's of data type integer. In C++, we're going to use int. So we are declaring price, quantity, and the amount, and we end it with a semicolon. After declaration, there is a display statement here, and in cout, in C++ we use cout. So we say cout enter price. Then immediately we needed to have a cin statement to receive that which we have actually gotten or asked the user to enter. So we say may it go into price, semicolon. Sorry, here it should also have semicolon. Then the same should apply for the other variable which we are getting from the user, which is quantity. And we are going to keep that variable into quantity, into qty. Then after that, we need to do some calculations. So the calculation will be the same. Then when everything is done, we are going to do some display of our information. So in C++, we don't use display, we use cout. And we specify what we want to be displayed. And of course, we don't join the items using this, but we join using this in C++. Then we can have our closing semicolon. So this is our program in C++. So for us to run this program, we can copy it and open Dev C++, open a new window where we can have our complete structure of the program. This is our complete structure of the program. So whatever we are doing, all our programs this semester or this time around, we are going to be writing them between this curly bracket and this return 0. So whatever I actually came up with here will just be copied. We copy it and paste it here. We can push them inside, tab, then we have them inside. So this is our complete program. Let's save it. Just call it maybe okay, unit price. So we can just call it price program.cpp. Let's try to compile it. Have issues. Okay, we have issues here, no semicolon. Let's go back and correct that one immediately. Here every statement must end with a semicolon. We forgot semicolon there. So save it, compile it again. Have another issue. Amount, spelling of amount is wrong here. Oh, so many things. Okay, let's go back. Hey, starting from here, amount was incorrectly written because it must match what you have declared. So we said use price, quantity, and amount. So this amount must match. The same here, we declared the price, quantity, and the amount. So amount was supposed to match here. Okay, thank you. Let's compile. Now it compiles and we can run our program. Maybe it's a bottle of water. We are selling it at 300 kwacha and we are buying 10 bottles. It will give us 3,000. Maybe this time around we are buying a bottle of water. Maybe it's not a bottle of water, but maybe a bread at 1,500, and we are buying 8 breads. So loaves of bread, and we're going to have 12,000 as our result. Thank you. So this is how you can write your program, do some analysis of your program, come up with the at least an algorithm for practice. Then afterwards you can create your program. Thank you and see you in the next video.